One of the most famous monuments in the world is the Statue of Liberty, well-known structures on Earth. She is visible to everybody visiting New York City. However, not everyone is aware of Lady Liberty's her personal secrets. Hello and welcome to KYC News. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. One of them, who might not even be a woman, is woman at all. Decreasing from 9 once, the Statue of Liberty was divided into pieces. It's incredibly difficult to imagine, yet the statue in fact touched down in France on June 17, 1885, more than 300 pieces of copper. There were 214 containers carrying the priceless cargo. On the Isère, a French ship. There wasn't the recognizable arm holding the torch, however. For a while, it stood at Madison Square Park. 6 years to assist in funding the sponsorship of the pedestal. When the statue-carrying ship docked, to welcome it to the U.S., 200,000 people showed up. There was a formal dedication ceremony. Along with President Grover on October 28, 1886, Cleveland is in charge of it. 8. It was one of the earliest crowdsourcing campaigns ever. Campaigns. French sculptor Frédéric Auguste is the first. Bartholdi gathered money in his nation to construct the monument. The neighborhood didn't actually sponsor a government. After it was completed, the sculptor made an offer, with the proviso that they give it to the U.S. as a gift. We'll construct a pedestal for it. The concept didn't sit well with the federal administration. The statue's status was therefore unknown for a few years. Joseph Pulitzer, a prominent American newspaper owner, then walked in. He essentially began one of the first large-scale historical campaigns for crowdfunding, promising giving each contributor a special shout-out in his publications. Although 80% of the contributions were modest, those produced by middle-class people, Pulitzer managed to obtain the required sum from more than 120,000 donors. By the way, the new Colossus, a well-known sonnet, this is nonetheless depicted on a bronze plaque. Another aspect of the fundraising took place inside the statue. Campaign. 7. It wasn't always green at the Statue of Liberty. Copper is used to make the Statue of Liberty, hence initially, it was roughly the same hue as 1 cent. The New York Historical Society claims that oxidation caused it to totally turn green. By 1920, when it was formerly half brown and 50% green, the restoration didn't affect the new color, and they assert that the patina-named coating won't never vanish. 6. It was once used as a lighthouse. Initially, the statue was intended to serving as a lighthouse for ships entering New Jersey Harbor. And 2 years after it entered the country, it did indeed become one. The statue's lamp was used for 16 years as a compass. However, it wasn't bright enough, so I had to run. Bartholdi proposed a solution but had run out of ideas. Must completely coat the figure in gold in order to is more vibrant. Congress rejected that proposal because it would have been outrageously costly. 5. Everything revolves around 7. 7 spikes on the statue are clearly seen atop its crown, representing planetary liberty throughout the 7 continents and oceans. The 7 reference that is less evident is in its head's amount of windows. There are 25 of them, which adds up to 7. Up the numbers. The flame is surrounded by 16 leaves, and the monument is 151 feet tall by itself. Additionally, those 2 figures add up to 7. Obviously, the significance of that number to the statue's creators. 4. The statue's foundation was made of the work of Gustave Eiffel. The Statue of Liberty's pedestal was erected on Liberty Island in the former Fort Wood. Currently, it houses historical museums of the statue using vintage images, videos, the original torch, as well as preserved oral histories. In 1886, Lady Liberty was pregnant. Alexander Gustave Eiffel, a renowned engineer familiar, contributed to the interior steel design framework for supporting the statue. It is sturdy enough to endure roughly 600 lightning strikes per year. The statue may move in strong winds by approximately 3 inches, and it's a torch. 5 inches. To reach Lady Liberty's crown, there are 354 steps, which is accessible to guests. However, the torch is not permitted. Have you been to the statue recently? Been there before? I have taken all those around 300 steps to her head's inside and peered through such windows. It felt quite cold and somewhat claustrophobic. Or perhaps there is another famous structure you climb, right? In the comment box, share your experiences below. 3. It might be linked to the Masons. A widely accepted theory contends that the Statue of Liberty was first intended to should adopt an Arab peasant woman's attire and stand at Egypt's southern entrance, Cairo Canal. The Egyptian monarch was unable to pay for it. It was redesigned by Bartholdi and given a new look. Send it as a gift with a new name and outfit for the anniversary to the American people relating to the American Revolution. What does that mean for the Masons, then? Bartholdi himself was a member of the Freemasons. He spoke on behalf of the Grand Orient Temple in France. Hence his interest in Egypt and the Masons. He allegedly desired to install the statue there to represent the Orient leading the way. Lady Liberty is holding a big torch. The torch, a symbol in the Masonic Society, or flaming torch of enlightenment or reason. The Masons contributed to the cornerstone as well. During the 1884 laying ceremony, the Grand Master, it was overseen by William A. Brodie and the members of the Great Lodge. 2. The Statue of Liberty's face could be the male one. Do you envision the Statue of Liberty when you think it's a woman? The majority of individuals believe it to be a representation of Libertas, the Roman goddess of liberty. According to a commonly acknowledged account, Bartholdi based her facial features on his mother. Journalist and author Elizabeth Mitchell, nevertheless, assertions that the sculptor actually utilized the face of his brother as a model. She was looking at the images of Bartholdi's. The author observed his mom had variably shaped eyebrows, a smaller nose, and a smaller mouth and lips. She then emphasized the eerie similarity between the older brother of the sculptor, the statue, and the years. As a result of his mental illness, Bartholdi's brother worked at the hospital for years, and Frederick would observe him for hours. That might have enabled him to reconstruct his face in every aspect. French author offered a different theory. Lady Liberty, according to Nathalie Salmon, was fashioned after Sarah Salmon, a relative. She claimed that Bartholdi discovered Sarah's qualities that are very lovely. Despite having immigrated to the United States, she and her spouse went to see the sculptor in the U.S. When they returned for a brief while to his studio in 1875, to Paris, he may have drawn at that time Sarah, and afterwards used them as a model. 1. There are several statues of Liberty, and I'm not referring to its plastic memento. Variations, such as the one located on Las Vegas Boulevard. A scaled-down Statue of Liberty can be found. It served as the older sister's original model in Paris's Jardin du Luxembourg. Since Bartholdi, in 1906, it has been there. Handed it to the World's Fair Museum in Luxembourg. Good for 1900. Another variation of the famous structure was built on a river island in the Seine to commemorate the French Revolution's 100th anniversary. 1889 saw a change. On it are the dates July 4th, 1776, and July 14th, 1789, a day that represents friendship of two countries, as well as the significance of revolution. A life-size replica of the torch is also there, atop Paris's Pont de l'Alma. Global sponsors contributed to it as a representation of Franco-American construction friendship. It took place on a day not far from the Eiffel Tower, the dedication of the statue's 100th year. Of course, the statue has also motivated a lot of people. Public and contemporary art initiatives, and one of visitors are greeted by its most well-known copies. A Times Square toy store. Hey, if you gained any new knowledge today, then share the video with a friend and like it. Friend. And here are some more, I think, cool videos. You'll like it. To stay, simply click left or right. The positive side of life.
Yeah.